Shalom, I'm Rabbi Michael Panitz. I'm the Rabbi of Temple Israel of Norfolk, Virginia, and I have the honor to be speaking to you from the pulpit of our congregation. At this time, I'd like to speak to you on the topic of new blooms and blossoms. New blooms and blossoms. There is something so hopeful about a branch in bloom. It tells us that the winter freeze did not kill the tree, that the apparent lifelessness throughout the months of cold was only the surface of appearances, and that deep within the spark of life still survived. The Bible uses that symbolism, the symbolism of the budding almond branch, in a story that we read in synagogue this coming Shabbat. The context of the story is a rebellion against the leadership of Moses and Aaron. The rebellion against Moses ended with a Cecil DeMille type miracle, an earthquake that swallowed Korach and his fellow rebels. But the rebellion against Aaron's spiritual leadership was quelled by gentler measures. Listen to the account in the book of Numbers, chapter 17. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and get 12 staffs from them, one from the leader of each of the ancestral tribes. Write the name of each man on his staff. On the staff of Levi, place Aaron's name, for there must be one staff for the head of each ancestral tribe. Place them in the tent of meeting, in front of the ark of the covenant law, where I meet you. The staff belonging to the man I choose will sprout, and I will rid myself of this constant grumbling against you by the Israelites." So Moses spoke to the Israelites, and their leaders gave him 12 staffs, one for the leader of each of the ancestral tribes, and Aaron's staff was among them. Moses placed the staffs before the Lord in the tent of the covenant law. The next day, Moses entered the tent and saw that Aaron's staff, which represented the tribe of Levi, had not only sprouted, but had budded, blossomed, and produced almonds. Then Moses brought out all the staffs from the Lord's presence to all the Israelites. They looked at them, and each of the leaders took his own staff. The Lord said to Moses, "Put back Aaron's staff in front of the ark of the covenant law, to be kept as a sign to the rebellious. This will put an end to their grumbling against me." Moses did just as the Lord commanded him. That's the story. Aaron was a gentle soul. Perhaps he was too gentle for his own good on occasion, and perhaps too gentle for what the people in its dysfunctional state at that time needed as well. All the same, it is telling that the way that God reaffirmed Aaron's leadership was by an act of creation, not an act of destruction. There's an interesting parallel to all this in the world of the great painters. Vincent van Gogh wanted to celebrate the birth of a nephew, whom his brother Theo and sister-in-law Jo named Vincent in his honor. He painted the masterpiece that you will see reproduced here, Almond Blossom, and gave it to the parents. Tragically, later that year, 1890, Van Gogh took his own life. When the nephew, Vincent Willem, grew up, he and his mother founded the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. I am taking the liberty to connect this with a personal moment of transcendence. Yesterday, one of our daughters-in-law was blessed to bring a new baby girl into the world. Mom and Dad are overjoyed, and the baby represents so many prayers answered. This little girl needed to leave the womb early because of a dangerous condition that gets worse over time. The medical professionals caring for mother and unborn child were excellent as well as compassionate. Their prenatal care inspired the parents with confidence. The baby needed to come into the world prematurely, but we are confident that benefit and risk have been calculated as well as possible. In the photograph that Dad sent from the NICU, baby was breathing on her own, a hopeful sign. Our almond staff has blossomed. We are in awe of the miracle of life. Shalom.